Good morning. It is a pleasure to be here and an honor to be part of any celebration of the greatness of Norman Borlaug and what he has accomplished. And it's an honor to speak to a group who are working to move that forward, to feed the world. The discussion that I've been asked to lead this morning really speaks to what the market is for the technologies and the things that's moving. What makes this move? Where is the market going? It's a huge topic with about 30 minutes to discuss. I hope I picked the pieces that are most useful. The biggest piece, however, is that wheat is critical to feed the world. It's a crop that is needed across the globe, and one that, because of just the financial pressures or financial incentives tied to the crops, has been, what's the right word? It's been disadvantaged versus corn and soybeans in the last several years because of the ability to capture value. We'll talk today about wheat, what it takes to feed the world today, and the markets that's attractive. We'll begin really with speaking of market attractiveness. This is a global sense, so we're just hitting high-level pieces. We'll then talk about some of the technology developments, although the details of those, we'll just touch on the highlights, and then speak of the value capture challenges and opportunities that exist in wheat. First of all, though, wheat needs to meet the demands of the people. There's been many presentations that hit these points already today. There's a lot of undernourished people in the world who for one reason or another need more nourishment and need to be fed, and wheat plays a great role in that. But cereal prices have been going up. Even in times of overall recession in the last 10 years, wheat cereal prices have still gone up. And with population rising, we need a lot of food. These facts really could be explored in depth and have been, but there is a demand for wheat, and there has been. It's the use of cereals and wheat has been growing, and demand and supply, as the market would predict, have stayed pretty close together and would expect that it will. So in looking then at what markets are attractive, we started with a global view. And it's very clear up front that China, the EU, India, US, Russia dominate the production or the consumption of wheat, especially with China and the EU. We looked first at where the demand's coming from in consumption, and then looked well at the top 15 companies who are producing wheat, and you see it's approximately appropriate. The countries producing wheat are the countries that are consuming the wheat, for the most part. If we looked at yields, and I think that slide is not here, yields and production or consumption of wheat, the productivity per acre, do not really correspond well on the map with production or with consumption. So that leads to then what brings a commercially attractive market? So we've explored several. And in doing that, this is a world view, so we've done it by continent almost. Looking at North America, Western Europe, India, former Soviet Union, China. We looked at each of the continents, but rated them really at a qualitative level on their attractiveness to the market in productivity of the crop generally in the area, or the commercial support that exists in the area, which is really private dollars going in and why those dollars go. The adoption of technology, which is partially what's demanded in the marketplace, but as much as that, it's the acceptance of the technology that's coming in. And those last two bullets tend to relate to each other, but let's look at them independently for a moment. We'll look at each continent, studying first in North America. Productivity, yield per acre is not really that high. In this chart, you'll notice yellow is okay. Good high green up arrows is what you want. Technology adoption and commercial support in North America is outstanding. Looking in Argentina, Brazil, well, you have good production and yield. Technology adoption, commercial support, not bad, but not the same. Leads it to be a less attractive market, but trending up. Look at Western Europe. It looks similar. You have great commercial support and productivity in Western Europe. Technology adoption, the staff that pulled this together had a great argument about whether that needed to be a great big down arrow or flat, and we had to decide there's more to technology than just GM. But that's been holding that market back. Former Soviet Union and the states that make that up, productivity and yield is coming up. Still not like the rest of the world, but technology and commercial support is limited, primarily for political versus commercial reasons. But without the rule of law and stable commercial governments in place, it has a weakness. East Asia, first in India and China, looking separately, both great places for productivity. Technology adoption, commercial support, bringing big companies not quite where they need to be, which makes that less of an attractive market as we look at it as a consulting firm of where do you put dollars of investment. Africa, Southwest Asia, tremendous potential. The other debate we had was, do you put a question mark in every one of those arrows? Or do they stand all? Tremendous potential, but not the support or adoption, productivity that's needed at this point. That's just backing up to take the broad view of where things are attractive. And you see the large commercial markets are attractive because of the commercial acceptance and the technology acceptance. So let's look at technology. There are a lot of advancements going on, and I have to look across and commend you as a group and your colleagues for the technology that you're bringing forward, both from private and from public sources. Molecular-aided breeding is here. Hybrids, we'll talk a lot more about later. Even the crop protection industry is bringing forward a lot more products, better products for wheat. Input traits, yield stress traits, both genetic and innate, being developed. There's a lot of technology. The companies here are examples. Technology's coming and could pave the way for real growth in the commercial wheat business. The other thing that's interesting is looking at collaborations. The companies you'd expect to see there with Bayer, Syngenta, Monsanto, and others who, for different reasons, you'd expect to see. Arcadia or Limagran, Biogemma. These are just examples of collaborations in the last year, but they're tying with public groups like, well, from Kansas State to University of Idaho and, of course, CIMMYT. This is just a tip of the things that are happening, and these collaborations lead to technology developments, not necessarily in of themselves, however, to commercial success. Technology is coming. You see that from a transgenic perspective, many traits coming, and we could spend a whole day talking about these, what they're doing, what the commercial relevance is, and when they're coming. But in the next 4 or 5 years, there's a potential to have a lot of new GM traits coming to the marketplace. And they'll come if there's an economic reason for them to be commercialized. Crop protection markets we spoke of, these are 3 examples of products we believe will be significant coming into the crop protection market, not only in fungicides, which has been standard, but insecticides as well. New technology is coming that will change the way wheat's produced on this front as well. Now to the third of the topics I believe is more important. How, with all these technologies being developed and the money put into them, how will the value be captured? As a business person, I look and define value capture simply as the amount of the value created in a crop that's captured by those who put effort and dollars in to develop that crop or technology. in any crop that comes forward and is successful, or any technology, whether it's wristwatches, iPhones, or wheat, the user needs to have value, the person developing the technology needs to have value, and those along the chain need to have value. And if any one of those pieces doesn't exist, the commercial reality of the product will be limited. See, this is an important piece here. Companies are spending money. So all the companies, these are a selected few, are spending money on wheat now. There's an expectation of a return on investment, or the dollars wouldn't be spent. Overall, seed and traits research development is up. But wheat seed traits research and development is growing at a much higher rate currently than the overall system is. Still small relative to the markets where commercial value capture is proven, corn or soybeans or even rice. But investments are being made heavily. In a wheat system, the higher any system, the higher the value a developer can capture, the more return on investment that group will get. The more return on investment they get, the more they will invest. Very simple economic equations. Some of the comments, so when dollars come in, things grow, more dollars come in, things grow faster. The advances in corn over the last 20 years is evidence of that economic reality. Currently, in wheat, there's not much value captured. It's a difficult crop to work in. One thing I've described to others is investments in wheat. If you go down that path, it's like riding a train track down, looking at the crashes along the side of the road of those who have attempted and crashed before. I believe we are at a point in time where all the foundations are laid to have wheat be an incredibly valuable and growing crop, not only to those who simply need nutrition, but to those who will develop technology because there is revenue to be gained and profit to be gained. That can happen if we can find, as an industry, a way to capture value and reward that investment so more investment can come in and the business can truly grow. There are many value capture methods that have been explored and are coming forward. Hybrid seed is one that, if could be commercially developed and effective, could allow the value capture of wheat to be like it has in maize. New systems could be developed to allow that as well. The grower license agreement concept that was developed for soybeans allowed value to be captured in a crop that was open pollinated. That trait and the value in that crop developed quickly and dramatically because there was a way to capture the value of what was there. And it didn't need a hybrid system there. What it needed is another system, a commercial system in that case, legal system, to allow capture of value. Traits as well could be another tool to leverage a method of capturing value. These mechanisms, we've got prevent, saved seed here, and enhanced value capture. The prevention of saved seed and enhancement of value capture does not necessarily have to go together. Seed could be saved and used. There's many areas where it may be the most economical way to do things. As long as you can put in a system at the same time that would allow value to be captured for the technology and the investment that's been put in. To do that, there has to be an incentive for a grower to buy and to be better off because they purchased the seed that was there than they would be if they didn't. Patenting and licensing protection are just other tools that can help make that happen. Working forward in summary here, first of all, wheat acreage and value is trending up. It's an exciting market that could do well. Hasn't been the case in some markets because the economics of the crop hasn't been as good as the economics of other crops, so we've lost some ground. But looking forward, it looks very good. It's an exciting market. Not all markets around the world are equally attractive. And keeping in mind, speaking of this from a business and economist perspective, there are markets that are attractive and some that are not so much. The areas where the demand, or the need is the greatest, are currently not necessarily the areas where the markets are most attractive. Value capture systems put in place could enable those markets to become more attractive and attract more investment, which feeds people and moves the world forward. You spoke, value is often greater than volume in marketplaces. Just volume itself, no matter how necessary from a humanitarian or individual perspective, is not ever sustainably created without value attached. So in looking at what markets are attractive, value becomes critical. The technologies are being developed. The system that most of you are part of in developing technology and bringing things forward that are effective is working. But historically, and even now, is relative to other crops starved for investment in deep science, deep investment. The change there, and I move this back to number one, is value capture systems in place that will allow wheat as a crop to fully develop its potential. It really does all come down to productivity. Physical productivity and yields, as well as economic productivity and returns on investment. Some quotes from Dr. Borlaug is bringing productivity to new places, initiating where nothing was, and improving what's in place to provide better. Building infrastructure to make the most out of what's there, and employing the best tools and tactics of labor and precision technologies to bring a crop forward. My belief is that the time for wheat is arriving. We've got the technology, we have the people, we've got the economic demand for the crop. Things are set for wheat to do real well. The piece that I hope we're all working together to develop is to make wheat as a crop as economically profitable and attractive as the other crops where technology has expanded so much more rapidly. As we do that, wheat's future is unlimited. Again, I want to thank this group for putting together a fantastic conference and for the honor of being able to share some of the thoughts that I have. Thank you.